And so for me, I'm not happy with McCain. I think his staff is absolutely a disaster. I think Bill Kristol on October 13th came out and said that the whole staff should be removed, and here's a conservative who understands. But I've seen it in the streets. It's been very disappointing to see the reaction of not dealing with this. And yet when I get into my explanation to other Democrats in the Jewish community, in the Christian Zionist community, and the people who understand 9/11, are not making apologies, have not turned into the appeasement Democratic Party, which to me is just as pathetic and disgusting as going on. And here again, I have to take a real division with Hillary Clinton. Back only a couple of weeks ago, we had a rally in front of the United Nations on keeping Jerusalem united, no two-state farce, no nukes for Iran. Here we have Ahmadinejad from Iran saying there's no Holocaust, and by the way, let's finish off Israel altogether. And Hillary Clinton had a unique opportunity because she was invited to participate at this rally along with Palin, Governor Palin, and because Palin was going to show up, Hillary backs off. And I thought, lady, what is your problem? What we needed was a unified approach to bring everybody together on the same day we do our rally at the UN, and we're blowing shofars and claiming our victory against this type of oppression. There were 60,000 people for Palin in Orlando. And yet, on the very next day, when there could have been 100,000 people in New York, just shut down 1st and 2nd Avenue at the UN and have a unified protest against this little Adolf Hitler from Iran that wants to finish off and continue the Holocaust and finish off Israel. What did we get? Hillary backs off because Palin's going to be there. The Jewish Democrats all of a sudden freak out that Palin might actually get some press. And what was so insulting to me as both a Jew and a Democrat and an activist and an American first, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, have you people lost your mind? What is your focus and your priority? We're going to sit and play this little game until Israel gets wiped out, and then you're going to, fold your hands and say, oh, gee, what could we have done about this whole thing? How about looking at the fact that we have a disaster that's pending? And what has Obama said about it? What has Obama said about Darfur and the genocide that's going on there? Of Islamics that are oppressing and killing on a mass scale black Africans. Why are we not dealing with that? Or how about black on black violence? Or how about anything that's going on? In fact, this is such a white campaign coming from Obama, it's almost embarrassing. What are you going to do for dealing with real poverty and real chaos and really anything out there that makes any sense? Nothing is coming out on this. And so for me, I'm looking at how can I support this guy? How can I possibly make a connection in this direction? And the question is, I really can't. So I'm urging everybody to take a look at this. I do not believe you make peace with people who want to kill you. I do not believe that you can accommodate anybody on this kind of a scale. The Hamas scenario is really very simple, along with Saudi Arabia and Iran. You split Jerusalem, which, by the way, has been Jewish for 3,000 years. Who is Obama to tell anybody that we need to negotiate this? I remember we demonstrated out in front of AIPAC in Washington in June. I had a big sign that said, Obama's bad for America and Israel. I had all these delegates come out and say, oh, no, you're wrong and everything. He's come out and he's supporting us, United Jerusalem. 24 hours later, he backtracks and said, no, let's negotiate. Who are you to negotiate what's been Jewish for 3,000 years? Have you lost your mind, Obama? You would have no nerve to go to the Islamic community and say, hey, let's give up Mecca for peace. But you have no problem saying it to the Jews. I, as a Jewish American, am telling you, unsatisfactory, not negotiable. How dare you? And then the fact is you want to put a corridor between Gaza and West Bank. That's the exact same plan as Bush. So if you split Israel down the middle, and there's only a few miles difference between Arab territory and Israeli territory, what you're doing in effect is finishing off the Jewish state. So for me, Obama is Bush's third term. On this issue, there's no question about it. Bush and Obama are the exact same thing. You divide Jerusalem, you have a corridor between West Bank and Gaza, you finish off Israel, that's the end of the Jewish state. The end of the Jewish state, that's the end of America. So I'm looking at this on a very clear level, on how I, as a Democrat all my life, can possibly move in this other direction. And it's very difficult, I got to tell you. But I'm so concerned about the danger that this guy represents and the misrepresentation that comes out there and the fact that media is so cowardly to bring it all out and let the public make a decision on its own. So I personally have to take this stand. So I'm urging every one of you, rethink rethink your position. I don't care if his middle name is Hussein. I'm not the least bit interested in all that stuff. I want to know who he's sitting with. I want to know who he's negotiating with. I want to know who he's getting his money from. And I want to know whether those people are going to have a seat at the White House. Because if that's the case, America has no future whatsoever, and neither does Israel. So I urge everybody, go to defendjerusalem.net. Let us know how to reach you. Please take this message to every one of your networks everywhere. Let people know what's going on. And to the Republican Party and the McCain campaign, I've called you guys a dozen times about all of this stuff. You're in another world. You're afraid to take on controversy. You're afraid to open up your mouth. You're afraid to do anything that's going to jeopardize your own pocketbook situation out of that DC mentality. I'm urging you, if you really love your country and country first, stop playing this little game. You need me. And it's not a question of my needing you. You need people like me to open up our mouth and find out what's going on and state our case. There's a whole group of people out there that are on the same level. That's why Obama hasn't walked away with his campaign completely. So I'm urging everyone, please take a stand, look in your heart, save America, save Israel. Our future is at stake. Do not go with this danger. That's for how I feel in terms of the entire Obama scenario. Thank you and God bless.